Hello there, it's midnight and you are tuning in to Nightline with me, Nadia Azmi. Here are the top stories. Government projects economic stability with diesel subsidy move. And 8 arrested over terror-linked threats to King and Prime Minister. Good morning. Malaysia Airlines confirmed that one of its flights encountered a technical issue involving cabin pressure and was forced to return to the Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA on Monday night. In a brief statement, the airline said that flight MH780, while en route to Bangkok after departing Kuala Lumpur at 5:59 p.m., experienced a pressurization problem. The operating pilots then initiated an emergency descent, although cabin altitude was not exceeded and passenger oxygen masks were not deployed. Despite this, the aircraft remained stable and returned to KLIA, where it safely landed at 8:18 p.m. The airline also assured that safety remains its highest priority. It was understood that the plane had already reached Thai airspace when it declared an emergency and adjusted its course for Kuala Lumpur. 8 individuals have been arrested by the police for their suspected involvement in extremism and radicalism linked to the Daesh terror group. Home Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail stated that all the suspects are believed to be involved in threats of attacks against the Yang di-Pertuan Agong and the Prime Minister. Speaking at a press conference on Monday, Saifuddin said that 6 men and 2 women, aged between 25 and 70, were detained by Bukit Aman's special branch during simultaneous operations in Kelantan, Johor, Pulau Pinang and Selangor over the weekend. He added that the suspects came from various backgrounds, including a housewife, a construction worker, a former lecturer and an unemployed individual.
Siasatan awal Polis Diraja Malaysia terhadap kesemua suspek turut mendapati bahawa wujud ancaman terhadap Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Perdana Menteri, beberapa orang kenamaan dan pimpinan tertinggi Polis Diraja Malaysia.
All of them are being held under the Security Offences Special Measures Act or SOSMA to assist investigations. Saifuddin also assured the public they need not worry about the level of security and public order in Malaysia. However, he reminded the people to be vigilant and wary of dangerous ideologies as well as elements of extremism, radicalism and violence being spread using modern technology and social media. The government is optimistic that the implementation of diesel subsidy rationalisation will allow Malaysia to achieve its targeted inflation rate and economic growth. Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan told the Dewan Rakyat that the government's projection for the inflation rate this year is between 2% and 3.5%, while the gross domestic product GDP growth rate is expected to be between 4 and 5%.
Pendekatan penyasaran semula subsidi diesel yang diambil iaitu menyediakan diesel bersubsidi kepada sektor logistik dan bantuan tunai bulanan kepada individu akan mengurangkan tekanan ke atas harga barang pengguna dan impak kepada rakyat. Dengan itu, walaupun terdapat perubahan harga runcit diesel yang ketara, namun dijangka tidak akan menjejaskan prestasi ekonomi atau menjejaskan kadar inflasi.
Amir also noted that the government still bears up to 10 billion ringgit for diesel subsidies, despite saving 4 billion ringgit a year with the rationalisation of subsidies. This amount includes subsidies given to Sabah and Sarawak, the public transportation and logistics sectors in Peninsular Malaysia, cash assistance for individual diesel vehicle owners and agro-commodity smallholders, as well as subsidies for fishermen. The savings from the subsidy rationalisation will also be utilised to improve the quality of life for the people through the provision of quality public infrastructure and more comprehensive social protection. Meanwhile, Amir Hamzah said the sale of diesel at petrol stations have dropped by almost 8 million litres per day or 30%, just a week after the implementation of diesel subsidy retargeting.
Tempoh yang sama, jualan diesel komersial pula meningkat sebanyak 4 juta liter sehari, yang memberi isyarat bahawa sebahagian penggunaan diesel runcit bersubsidi selama ini telah digunakan oleh sektor industri. Yang sepatutnya membeli diesel pada harga pasaran. Ini bermakna trend peningkatan jualan diesel komersial menggambarkan tanda positif bahawa ketirisan diesel bersubsidi telah berkurang.
He added that feedbacks from one of the oil companies indicated that diesel sales at the country's borders also dropped by 40%. This, he said, confirmed that there were previous activities of diesel smuggling across the nation's borders. The Dewan Rakyat was informed on Monday that despite the implementation of the targeted diesel subsidy on June 10th, prices of goods have remained stable. Deputy Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Minister Fuzia Saleh said this as the ministry had taken immediate action against any traders that took advantage of the situation. According to Fuzia, before the subsidy rollout, pre-enforcement operations gathered the prices of 1,772 goods for comparison. As of Sunday, the ministry has inspected a total of 2,790 premises to detect any traders arbitrarily raising prices.
Pada 23 hari bulan Jun, kita telah mengeluarkan 210 notis bertulis dan membuka 7 kes siasatan. Yang kita dapati bahawa pada beberapa hari yang pertama ada pihak mengambil kesempatan, yang berhormat Serian Tan Sri Tua, tapi selepas kita mengeluarkan notis, kita panggil mereka, kita bagi notis, kita minta mereka jawab kenapa ada harga naik, sebab kita dah ada data awal tadi, kita dapati data kita yang terkini, kita dapati bahawa agak keadaan terkawal.
On concerns over sectoral impacts, Fuzia emphasised the ministry's vigilance over logistics to curb additional costs and issuing fleet cards to stabilise transportation expenses for essential goods. As for the construction sector, she said that for the time being, there are no targeted subsidies for this sector. However, engagement with relevant stakeholders and relevant ministries are still ongoing. On June 9th, the government announced that the retail price of diesel at all pumps in Peninsular Malaysia would be set at RM3.35 per litre, effective on June 10th. The targeted diesel pricing and subsidy implementation is expected to save the country RM4 billion annually. Now, the Dewan Rakyat descended into chaos when a motion to refer Opposition Member Parliament Datuk Wan Saiful Wan Jan to the Parliamentary Rights and Privileges Committee was approved on Monday. The motion was tabled by Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform, Datuk Sri Azalina Othman Said, and approved by a majority voice vote. Azalina said that the motion to refer him to the committee was to determine whether the statements made by the Tasik Glugur MP that a court case against him could be dropped were misleading to the House. The matter was also seen as a serious issue as it involved the integrity of the courts and damaged the interests of the parties involved in the case. However, Buletin MP and Bersatu Chief Whip Datuk Sri Ronald Kiandi questioned the decision by Speaker Tan Sri Johari Abdul to allow the motion to be tabled, describing it as sub judice. However, Johari said the motion was not sub judice and emphasised that Wan Saiful had been given the opportunity to explain himself to the committee, which will then decide the next course of action. The opposition then walked out of the Dewan Rakyat in protest shortly before the lower house went on a lunch break.
Bahawa usul seperti bukan nombor satu itu. Bawa keluar. Ini namanya tyranny of the majority. Selamat, yang bersetuju kata setuju.
Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Johari Abdul said he will respond to Bersatu's notice of unexpected vacancies in 6 parliamentary seats within 21 days as per existing law. This after he confirmed receiving Bersatu Chief Whip Datuk Sri Ronald Kiandi's notice on the matter last Friday.
So inshallah, once I have all the answers, I'll call you guys to tell what's happening. So be patient.
Di ujung penghujung 21 hari ke macam mana?
Inshallah, I have 21 days to work on it. I'll work on that.
Johari said this after opening an art exhibition in conjunction with 55 years of Malaysia-Romania diplomatic relations held at the Parliament building on Monday. Previously, it was reported that Kiandi, who is also Beluran MP, submitted a notice to the Speaker's office concerning the unexpected vacancies involving 6 Bersatu lawmakers whose memberships had been terminated in accordance with Article 49A of the Federal Constitution. Bersatu had earlier declared that the 6 MPs were no longer members after they failed to respond to special letters requiring them to pledge their loyalty to the party by May 31st. The 6 Bersatu MPs, whose party memberships were revoked after declaring their support for the unity government, are Bukit Gantang MP Datuk Syed Hussein Hafiz, Syed Abdul Fasal, Jeli MP Zahari Kecik, Kuala Kangsar MP Datuk Iskandar Zulkarnain Abdul Khalid, Tanjung Karang MP Datuk Zulkapriz Hanapi, Labuan MP Datuk Suhaili Abdul Rahman and Gua Musang MP Muhammad Azizi Abu Naib. Exploding batteries spark deadly factory fire. News from the foreign front when we return.
Pintu dikunci seolah-olah tidak beroperasi. Restoran jadi transit tempahan GRO.
Dia mudahkan keluarga kalau salah, tetap salah. Bukan, saya mau cari makan, saya di atas laki-laki.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Susahnya semua sebut tak kena.
Syira, bertenang. Syira, semua masalah ada penyelesaiannya.
Oh, kau mang, durian dah berbunga.
Dah musim durian, jom kita cuba menu durian minggu ini.
Pengabaian anak?
Apakah antara tindakan yang menyebabkan pengabaian?
Agaknya orang yang pada berbau ni mereka sedar ataupun tidak?
Jangan sampai buat orang lain tak selesa. Dan apakah cara atasinya?
Segi penting untuk jaga air muka pasangan.
Ya betul, jangan malukan mereka depan orang lain.
Semuanya di WHI TV3.
Dan stream sekarang ditonton.
Apa benda semua nak simpan ni?
Saya memang penyimpan memori, kolektor.
Kolektor ke hoarders?
Tak kolektor.
Apa beza hoarders dengan kolektor?
Entahlah. Okey, alham makanan laut jangan ambil mudah sebab boleh membawa maut.
Dan juga kita nak fahami Akta Kanak-Kanak 2001, pengabaian terhadap kanak-kanak.
Rezeki petani DIY, kaedah penanaman baru di kawasan rumah.
Dan kita nak fahami Bank Digital Islam.
MHI setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat.
Juga di aplikasi Tonton, hanya di TV3.
Welcome back. In South Korea, a lithium battery factory was set on fire after multiple batteries exploded on Monday, killing 22 workers as it burned out of control for nearly 6 hours. The fire broke out at the plant operated by South Korean battery maker in Hwaseong at about 10:30 a.m. local time before being brought under control shortly after 3 p.m. Authorities said more than 100 workers were believed to have been working at the site when the blaze began after a series of battery cells exploded inside a warehouse and some 35,000 units. It added that due to the explosion, 18 Chinese workers, 2 locals and 1 Laotian were killed, while 1 factory worker was still missing. It was still unclear what caused the explosions, and the case is being probed by the authorities. The death toll from a series of brazen attacks on churches and synagogues in Russia's mainly Muslim region of Dagestan rose to 19 on Monday after gunmen went on the rampage in coordinated attacks in 2 of the republic's most important cities. It was reported that gunmen with automatic weapons burst into an Orthodox church and a synagogue in the ancient city of Derbent on Sunday evening, setting fire to an icon at the church. Almost simultaneously, places of worship were also attacked in Makhachkala, the capital of Dagestan, and its largest city, where the police post also came under attack. According to authorities, at least 15 police officers, several civilians, and a 66-year-old Orthodox priest were killed in the attacks. 5 attackers were also reported to have been liquidated. There were no immediate claim of responsibility for the attacks, but authorities have launched a criminal investigation on the charge of a terrorist act. Saudi Arabia on Sunday confirmed that at least 1,301 pilgrims have died during this year's annual Hajj pilgrimage, which took place amid extreme heat in the Saudi city of Mecca. The temperature in Mecca and other nearby holy sites hovered around 50 degrees Celsius through Tuesday's final pilgrimage day. According to the officials, more than half of the fatalities were people from Egypt, recording at least 630 deaths. Other fatalities included 165 pilgrims from Indonesia, 98 from India, and dozens more from Jordan, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, and Malaysia. Meanwhile, Saudi's health ministry said some 83% of the fatalities were unregistered pilgrims with no identification cards as they travelled on tourist visas. Unlike authorised pilgrims, unregistered pilgrims usually have no access to accommodation and transportation services, leaving them to face the extreme heat. In continued Zionist violence, an Israeli air attack on a Gaza City clinic killed 2 people, including the director of Gaza's ambulance and emergency department early on Monday. In a statement, the Palestinian Health Ministry confirmed that Director Hani al-Jafrawi lost his life in a Zionist airstrike on the Al-Daraj Medical Clinic in central Gaza City. The statement, however, did not provide details regarding the circumstances of al-Jafrawi's death. The ministry reaffirmed its determination to continue its medical and humanitarian responsibilities despite systematic targeting and direct assaults, which have resulted in the deaths of 500 healthcare workers and the detention of over 310 others under harsh and inhumane conditions. Meanwhile, 2 more babies have died from malnutrition at Kamal Adwan Hospital, bringing the known death toll from hunger and thirst to 31. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has indicated on Sunday that he is open to a partial deal that would facilitate the return of some captives still held in Gaza, even if not all. However, he reiterated that he would not agree to any deal that stipulated an end to Israel's war on Gaza, despite previous claims by the United States that an Israeli proposal would be a pathway to ending the offensive. While US officials have insisted that Israel authored the proposal, various Israeli officials, including Netanyahu, have pledged to continue fighting until Hamas is eliminated and have refused to publicly endorse it fully. National youngsters shine in ASEAN Championship. Sports when we come back.
Pintu dikunci seolah-olah tidak beroperasi. Restoran jadi transit tempahan GRO.
Dimudahkan kalau salah tetap salah. Bukan, saya mau cari makan, saya tiada laki-laki.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kau tu dah lah hodoh hitam, gemuk lagi tu.
Dia sendiri memang sebenarnya telah merancang membunuh mangsa. Dia cemburu terhadap mangsa.
Mayat dibawa sejauh 500 km dari Terengganu sebelum dicampak dari atas jambatan di Cyberjaya.
Tanpa rasa simpati, dicampak setinggi itu walaupun dia sudah meninggal dunia kan.
Wanita hari ini.
Susahnya semua sebab tak kena.
Syira, bertenang. Syira, semua masalah ada penyelesaiannya.
Oh, kau mang, durian dah berbunga.
Dah musim durian, jom kita cuba menu durian minggu ini.
Pengabaian anak?
Apakah antara tindakan yang menyebabkan pengabaian?
Agaknya orang yang pada berbau ni mereka sedar ataupun tidak?
Jangan sampai buat orang lain tak selesa. Dan apakah cara atasinya?
Segi penting untuk jaga air muka pasangan.
Ya betul, jangan malukan mereka depan orang lain.
Semuanya di WHI TV3.
Dan stream sekarang ditonton.
And we're back with sports. Football 2024 ASEAN Under-16 Championship. The national squad began their campaign in style by thrashing Timor-Leste 5-0 in the Group C opener on Sunday. The team, coached by Javier Jordan Ribera, took a 1-0 lead at halftime with a goal from Izzuddin Afif Nazaruddin in the 35th minute. Muhammad Fahmi Nur Farizamal doubled the lead in the 55th minute, followed by goals from Muhammad Awal Wafi Ahmad Shukri 11 minutes later. And Aryan Hakim Nurizam in the 78th minute before Muhammad Awal capped off the scoring spree with his second goal 1 minute from time. The U16 national squad will face Australia on Wednesday before concluding their group stage against Thailand on Saturday. Still on football, the 2024 Copa America. Uruguay offered an instant reminder of why they will likely be among the challengers at the tournament with an impressive 3-1 victory over Panama in Group C on Monday. Uruguay, who have won the Copa America a joint record 15 times, opened the scoring when Maximilian Araujo fired home a sublime curling effort in the 16th minute. Panama fought back after the break with a couple of chances, but Darwin Núñez settled La Celeste's nerves 5 minutes from time with a superb volley into the bottom corner. In a frenetic spell during stoppage time, Matias Vina rose highest to head home Uruguay's third from a set piece, before Michael Amir Murillo netted a consolation goal for Panama in the dying seconds. The 3-1 scoreline remained until the final whistle, and Uruguay topped the group while sharing points with the United States. Moving on to tennis, the 2024 Queen's Club Championships. American Tommy Paul won his third ATP Tour title and the first on a grass court by defeating Lorenzo Musetti in straight sets in the final on Sunday. Paul dominated the first set and capitalized on Musetti's unforced errors, taking the opener 6-1 in 88 minutes. Musetti rallied in the second and forced a tiebreaker, but the American ultimately held his ground to clinch a 7-6 victory, taking home his maiden grass court title. The 27-year-old's third career crown will take him above Taylor Fritz in the ATP rankings, making him the highest-ranked American in men's singles. The win also saw Paul become the first American winner of the pre-Wimbledon tournament since Sam Querrey in 2010. Insurance syndicate killing victims foiled by police. The details after this short break.
Apa benda semua nak simpan ni?
Saya memang penyimpan memori, kolektor.
Kolektor ke hoarders?
Tak kolektor.
Apa beza hoarders dengan kolektor?
Entahlah. Okey, alham makanan laut jangan ambil mudah sebab boleh membawa maut.
Dan juga kita nak fahami Akta Kanak-Kanak 2001, pengabaian terhadap kanak-kanak.
Rezeki petani DIY, kaedah penamaan baru di kawasan rumah.
Dan kita nak fahami Bank Digital Islam.
MSI setiap Isnin hingga Jumaat.
Juga di aplikasi Tonton, hanya di TV3.
Wanita hari ini.
Susahnya semua sebut tak kena. Syira, bertenang. Syira, semua masalah ada penyelesaiannya. Oh, kau mang. Durian dah berbunga. Dah musim durian, jom kita cuba menu durian minggu ini. Pengabaian anak? Apakah antara tindakan yang menyebabkan pengabaian? Agaknya orang yang pada berbau ni mereka sedar ataupun tidak? Jangan sampai buat orang lain tak selesa. Dan apakah cara atasinya? Segi penting untuk jaga air muka pasangan. Ya, betul. Jangan malukan mereka depan orang lain. Semuanya di WHI TV3. Dan stream sekarang ditonton.
Kau tu dah lah hodoh hitam, gemuk lagi tu.
Dia sendiri memang sebenarnya telah merancang membunuh mangsa. Dia cemburu terhadap mangsa.
Mayat dibawa sejauh 500 km dari Terengganu sebelum dicampak dari atas jambatan di Cyberjaya.
Tanpa rasa simpati, dicampak setinggi itu walaupun dia sudah meninggal dunia kan.
Welcome back. No property damage or casualties were reported following a landslide that occurred at the foot of Mount Kinabalu in Kundansang early Monday morning. Ranau Fire and Rescue Department Station Chief Ridwan Muhammad Taib confirmed the matter when contacted by TV3 after a video of the incident went viral on social media, sparking concerns among netizens.
Untuk makluman, setakat daripada pelaporan, buat masa ini tiada mangsa yang dilaporkan cedera dalam kes tersebut, dan hasil daripada pemantauan pihak bomba di kawasan sungai yang terlibat iaitu Masilau, terdapat kesan air lumpur akibat ada runtuhan tanah di kaki gunung tersebutlah.
Ridwan added that after being alerted to the incident, Fire and Rescue Department personnel conducted monitoring using drones since there was no access to the landslide area. The operation ended at 4 p.m. However, as a precaution, the department is monitoring the site periodically together with other agencies, including the police and Malaysian Civil Defence Force. The public is also urged not to panic about the incident and to report immediately to the department or other authorities if they encounter any emergencies. Meanwhile, Sabah Park's director, Mak Larin Lakim, said the landslide occurred in the upper region of Sungai Mesilau in Kinabalu Park at 1:20 a.m, followed by a mud flow at 5 a.m. He also said that the incident caused some damage to the topography but was far away from the route climbers use to go up the mountain, as well as any villages or residential areas. He further said that Sabah Parks is monitoring the affected area, including effects of the landslide on the river flow, but assured that the situation is under control. Police have busted an insurance fraud syndicate that secretly signs up victims for policies, then stages their murders as accidents to claim the insurance payouts. Johor Police Chief Commissioner M. Kumar said the syndicate was uncovered during an investigation into the murder of a 38-year-old man in Kulai who purportedly died in a road accident on May 6.
Dalam kes ini, 500,000. Insurans tersebut. Setiap polisi insurans, kalau tuan-tuan perhatikan, mesti ada beneficiary kan, pewaris. Dia akan cari seorang pewaris untuk jadi beneficiary. Dan kedua-dua mereka ni tidak kenal. Selepas mencarung dan dia bayar premium beberapa bulan, mereka akan ambil tindakan membunuh mangsa. Cara yang mereka gunakan adalah accident, kemalangan jalan raya.
Kumar also said that 8 men aged 23 to 49 were arrested to assist in the investigation, adding that police are hunting for other syndicate members still at large. 4 of the individuals detained were charged under the Penal Code for murder in the Kulai Magistrates Court on June 19th, while the rest were out on bail. In Perak, 6 men aged between 23 and 37 were remanded by the Ipoh Magistrates Court on Monday following a clash between 2 rival gangs believed to be over control of drug territory. The 5-day remand order until this Friday was issued by Magistrate Adilah Mokhtar to facilitate police investigations into the case. District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Abang Zainal Abidin Abang Ahmad said the fight occurred near the Sultan Azlan Shah Health Ministry Training Institute in Tanjung Rambutan on Sunday. It was reported earlier that a severed hand was discovered by firefighters on the roadside while they were extinguishing a burning car at the location. Police later revealed that 3 men had been ambushed at the same location at 11 a.m. by 20 assailants wearing masks and armed with clubs and machetes. The victims, aged between 26 and 30, suffered serious injuries in the incident, with one man's left hand nearly hacked off and another man's left hand completely severed at the wrist. All 3 received treatment at Raja Permaisuri Bainun Hospital. In Pulau Pinang, the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Monday ordered a man charged with the murder of his mother to be referred to Hospital Bahagia Ulu Kinta, Perak for mental observation. Magistrate Nadrato Naim Muhammad Saidi, in allowing an application by Deputy Public Prosecutor M. Darshini, ordered that Soon Yong Un, 40, be sent to the hospital for a month for observation under Section 342 of the Criminal Procedure Code. Soon was charged under Section 302 of the Penal Code with murdering 67-year-old Chua Ah Ting at a house in Taman Alo Vista here at 5:47 p.m. last June 15th. He faced the death penalty or imprisonment for a minimum of 30 years and a maximum of 40 years, and to be given at least 12 strokes of the cane if convicted. The court set July 24th for mention for submission of the accused medical reports. As Nightline draws to a close this time around, let's take a look as Paris hosts Vogue's latest runway event in the heart of the city ahead of the Olympic Games. Celebrating the intersection of fashion and sports, this event showcases looks through the decades, with each one paying homage to a sport and a French designer or fashion house. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for tuning in and be safe.